Okay, everybody, Jim Williams, good morning. It is October 9th, and we are watching Hurricane Milton closing in on the Florida Peninsula this morning. It's currently 8:30 a.m., roughish. I'm here in Central Florida. I'm at my father's right now and getting things set up and getting ready to go for this evening's intercept. And I want to give everybody an update. First of all, let's get to the graphics from the National Hurricane Center. Um, there is the forecast from NHC, and 2 a.m. you'd have a 130 mile per hour hurricane coming into the Sarasota area just south of Tampa. That's the official forecast. And again, that can waver on either side of that cone. So the NHC points out their 24-hour forecast could be out by as much as 40 miles in either direction. So it could either pass directly over Tampa or it could come down near maybe Venice. We'll have to see about that. But anyway, it's going to be very late tonight, early in the morning. Conditions are going to get really bad in Central Florida. So this has been kind of a challenging intercept so far. First of all, getting gas here has been impossible. I've been from Fort Myers. I came across from Southeast Florida, no problems over there. As soon as I got to the West Coast, starting in Arcadia, no gas. Fort Myers, no gas. Naples, going north. And as the day wore on, it got worse and worse trying to find gas. Now, what I did is I topped my tank off and filled up my gas cans before I even headed over to the West Coast. So I was pretty good. Starting to run out of gas when I was setting the cameras up. I was able to top it off at one gas station I found. So I set the cameras up, and I want to show you what they look like right now. This is the first one in Siesta Key. So this is, I'm Siesta Key, just south of Siesta Beach. And this is like a row of rentals that people, I guess, use as vacation spots or whatever. And the ocean is right beyond those palm trees. And the surge is going to roll into this area and maybe even knock these buildings down. I'm not sure. This camera is attached to a telephone pole. It's right above the roof line there. So it's about probably 10, 15 feet up. So if that water gets 10 to 15, it'll probably hit that camera and knock it offline. We'll have to see about that. But these buildings may not even survive. It's going to be unbelievable here. Again, this is just the south part of Siesta Key. And if you go further south in Siesta Key, the damage is tremendous from Hurricane Helene. There's piles of debris everywhere. So it's been a bad experience for Siesta Key, and it's going to get worse starting tonight. So the other camera I have set up is in Venice, and this one is in the inlet in Venice, facing the Gulf of Mexico, and that water's going to come rushing in there. And I aimed it at these boats. You can see here there's a lot of boats that are kind of elevated out of the water here, but this is all going to be pounded here starting tonight. And this camera is on a bridge, so the bridge is probably 15 feet off the surface of the water, so it may survive this. I'm not as worried about this one as I am in Siesta Key. However, that might change, and this might be worse. But both those cameras, I might not get either one of them back. And what I'm going to do is probably, if it hits further south tonight, maybe Sarasota toward Venice, I may ride it out and just head back to South Florida and pick the cameras up another time. If it hits over Tampa, and it looks like it's going to affect my area here where I'm sitting, where my dad's is, in the villages, I'll come back here and help him, because they'll be without power and everything, and that'll make all the difference of whether I come back here or head straight home. So that's the situation. So what happened was, I did a video yesterday, and I was showing people the camera shot from Chris's house. Chris Hollis, that runs tropicalatlantic.com. He helps a lot with Hurricane City and some of the code that I have trouble with. And he develops a lot of products, the Hurricane Hunters, the best performing models, all those kinds of things. So I went over there to meet him, and I figured, let me set up a camera across from his house. It was a really neat shot of the bay aiming toward his neighborhood. As you could see the water rushing in. But I went to Chris's house, and he told me the track is shifted a little bit south, and he thinks that I should move the camera further south instead of his neighborhood. So I'm hoping I didn't make a mistake there. But let me show you. Let me show you Chris's area. This was so he's near Tampa International. So where was it here? Oh yeah, here. So you zoom in, and there's Tampa International Airport, and he's like just to the left of that, right on that bridge, the off of Courtney Campbell Causeway, and his neighborhood is up in those where those canals jut in there. So I had the camera on the causeway, aiming at his house, and decided to cut it down and bring it and put it down in Venice, Florida. So I did get to meet Chris. Oh, let me show you where the other cameras are real quick before I show you that. So we can head south, go through St. Petersburg, and down here is Longboat Key, and Siesta Key is down here just south of Sarasota. So you zoom in on Siesta Key, and the camera is located right where that Sarasota Surf and Racket Club is, right in this general area is where the camera is located in Siesta Key. Then you go even further south and head down towards Venice, and here's Venice Beach, and there is the inlet. I believe that I am, I don't think it's that one. I think it's this one, South Venice. No, it is that one. Wait a minute. It's right here. This is where the camera is located, is Shamrock Drive, I believe. No, wait a minute. Yeah, it's the Shamrock Drive camera, which is right where the inlet comes in here, and the camera's mounted on that little bridge right there, aiming to the Gulf. So we'll see how much water rushes in there in Venice Beach. So I was at Chris's, and here we are, um, myself and Chris Hollis. It was good to meet Chris because he's done so much work over the years at Hurricane City and helped me out. And again, he had flooding from Hurricane Helene. Several inches got into his house. I was fortunate to meet him and his father, who were battling Helene and putting plastic and wood up and boards and brick pavers and all kinds of stuff to save their house from flooding. And they did a great job and saved their house from flooding. And they got a little bit of minor damage in their house. But I'm hoping this isn't worse, because if this comes right over them or just north, it could be worse. If it passes just south of them, the winds would be offshore, which is why he wanted me to move the camera. And it would be offshore wind, so they wouldn't have the huge surge flooding that we were expecting. So that's why I decided to move the camera. All right, so it's good to meet Chris. One final note, I just wanted to talk about the models real quickly, and I have one more image to show you, actually. But I keep track every day I write the models down each day, each morning. I write them all down and where they think it's going to go. Right, so here's today's. You got Wednesday morning. The H Wharf is Tampa, H Mon Sarasota, HAF A and B Sarasota, GFS Tampa, Euro North Tampa. The Euro is interesting because the Euro has been performing pretty good on this storm. The Euro AI Sarasota, the Canadian Sarasota, Icon Sarasota, NAM Sarasota, UK Met Sarasota. So there's a consensus of Sarasota. But the best performing models have been the Euro, the H-Mon, and the H-Wharf models of all these models. So, the Euro, again, is North Tampa, and the H-Mon and H-Wharf are Sarasota. So it's going to be interesting to see if it doesn't just split the difference on this. But there's another, I wanted to show you this. Get back into my photos here. So get back to this. So here are the two best performing models overall, which is the AEMI and the CEMN, which are tropical uh, consensus models. And they're the best performers, only off by like between 10 and 40 miles off so far on the track. And they're both taking this into Sarasota. So it'll be interesting to see if this plays out. But anyway, I'm hoping everybody made all the preparations they need. And this gas situation needs to be addressed because I was lucky enough on the way in here, about 10 miles south of here, I found a gas station where there was one pump pumping, and it was real slow pump. And some guy waved me in. I guess he thought I have a utility truck, and he thought I was with the power, and he was waving me in to get gas. Everybody else was circling looking for gas, and I was able to. It was one of those slow pumps. It's like a gallon a minute, like it was really slow, and I was able to fill up the truck, top off all the tanks. So I'm heading down probably 10, 11 p.m. tonight or something, or maybe even earlier, probably 8 p.m. to set up camp and find out where I'm going to be on the west coast of Florida and ride it out. I'll be live tonight. Look for that when the Corps arrives. Use the social media links at the top of Hurricane City. And I will be live showing you these cameras and the camera shot from the truck. I have a camera on top of the truck. We'll see what we can do. I got some storm chasers. I know they're going to be down that area, so we'll see what they're doing. And that's it for now. I wish everybody the best of luck. This is going to be a bad night for a lot of